What's going on, guys? Welcome back and thanks for tuning into another one. Today I wanted to go over the active exhaust and the 2018 and 2019 Mustangs. It's new for 18 and 19. The thing that's new for 19 is you can actually get it on the EcoBoost, and yeah. But today we have my GT behind me. That's what I'm going to be talking about it on. Just wanted to go over how many volume levels it had, the volume variance that it has, and just kind of give you a feel of what it is, how it works, and why it's actually pretty cool. So a lot of people, one of the first things they do when they get a new car is change out the exhaust. That's just kind of, it's been that way for a long time. And I know with the older Mustangs, the exhaust was just weak coming from the factory. You know, it's one of the first things that needed to be changed. It just sounded like nobody was home. And they've really changed that with the 18 and 19. I mean, it sounds really good from the factory. I can't really speak on non-active exhaust. I don't know what that sounds like. I don't know if it sounds different. I don't know, because mine has active, and that's the only thing I have experience with in this car. So that's all we're talking about today. But with the active, you definitely don't have to get a new exhaust. I mean, you can. There's definitely louder, and in my opinion, there's stuff out there that sounds better. But you don't have to. It's not the first thing you have to do anymore. You know, you can be happy with this factory active exhaust. It sounds really cool. The features it has is super badass in my opinion. It sounds really good, and you know, I don't think you have to. You know, a lot of people still will, but you know, I think a lot of people will be happy with this from the factory. It's just, you know, one less thing you really have to spend money on. That's what we're going to be covering today. Now, what exactly I'm going to be showing you are all the different modes, all the different levels. So there's two starting levels that you can be in, two starting modes. There's quiet and normal. That's the only two ways you can start this car. Normal, quiet, that's it. And quiet really is quiet. I mean, it's pretty amazing. To me, quiet sounds like what Mustangs of past have sounded like normal, you know, from the factory. That's really what it sounds like to me. And the normal is normal, so, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory. Now, once the Mustang's on, you have 4 different levels that you can choose from. So there's quiet, you can stay in quiet, you can drive in quiet, normal, sport, and track. So 4 different levels that you can be at once the car is on. So 2 different starting levels, 4 different driving levels. And they all do sound pretty drastically different, I'll be honest. So just gonna show you what it looks like coming through the main menu. So when you hit the horse button on the steering wheel like that, it's gonna bring you to this menu. And then you can go down to exhaust mode. And this is gonna show you all 4 exhaust modes that it has. So you got quiet. You can actually hear a difference there when it changes. It's pretty crazy. Normal, sport, and track. And you'll get the little warning there, whatever, you can just okay through when you hit track mode, which is also kind of cool. And the other thing that you'll find in this menu is a pretty cool feature called Quiet Start. Now what that does, it just basically lets you set a time window of when you want the car to start in quiet mode. And quiet mode, like I said, is very quiet actually. You can hardly hear it start up. So it's for the people that are leaving their house late at night, super early in the morning, you know, middle of the night, odd hours, you know, just anytime you don't need your car to wake your neighbors. If you have neighbors that already don't like your car, or you just need that quiet start so you can get in and out stealthily, like you can actually set that time window. And you can also, you don't have to do the window if you want. You can just turn the accessory mode on and come in and click quiet start there, and then start the car that one time, and it'll start with quiet mode from there. So from there, like I said, you have the 4 exhaust modes: quiet, normal, sport, and track, that you can choose through this menu, as well as the quiet start window setter and just the one time. Now that's not the only way inside the cabin that you can change the exhaust mode. You can actually come over here to the driving mode selector button, and that will change the exhaust mode with the driving mode. So you had normal, what you saw earlier. This is actually the Sport Plus mode. If I hit it a couple more times, you'll go into track, and you can see how the gauge cluster is changing with the mode. The exhaust mode will actually change with the driving mode. So each driving mode has its own exhaust mode. And then you can flip. Let's see, keep going. Flip back to, let's focus. Drag, snow, wet, I think just goes back to normal. And then you're back to normal. And the other thing that you can set also is the My mode, which I didn't talk about yet. And you can set your own exhaust mode for that. And it's actually funny, the track mode is talking about the exhaust. talking about how loud it is and saying for track use only. So I put it in track. It's not even in track mode, track driving mode. It's just in the track exhaust mode, and it pops up and says for track use only. I think that's how they get by. Honestly, the volume level of how loud track is by a little warning popping up and saying for track use only. So that's kind of funny that they do that. And you can be in any driving mode. You can go and change the exhaust to a different level, right? So you could be in track driving mode and then go put it in, you know, normal exhaust mode, or and vice versa. You could be in normal mode, go put it in track mode. So while they do change with the driving mode, you can go in there and kind of override it afterwards. So you can have really any combination of driving mode and exhaust level that you want, which is pretty cool. Alright guys, now that you're up top, we're going to do some in-cabin. I'm going to have the windows down on all of them. I kind of feel like it's pointless to have it up. If you have it up, I mean, you know it's quiet. You can just go ahead and put it in quiet mode, you know, if noise is really concerned. This video is more about, you know, the features, how it works, and what it sounds like. So I'm not going to roll around with the windows up. I'm just going to do a little bit of all 4 volumes with the windows down, starting here in quiet mode. And as you can see, quiet mode is extremely quiet. I'll let you listen. You can barely hear it. Just cruising around town. I mean, it's like nothing is there, honestly. Now, if you get wide open throttle, or like you really get on it, you know, as you could probably hear from the exhaust clip, it does open up a little bit once you get to a certain RPM, but just for cruising, man, there's nothing to it. You can't hear it at all. It's completely quiet. So we're gonna move on to normal mode. Quiet mode is pretty self-explanatory. All right, so now we're in normal mode. This is what it just defaults to. A little bit louder. You can hear the tone a little bit more. You can hear the exhaust. It's not super loud, but it's definitely, you know, it's better than what the stock Mustang used to be. This would be considered like stock, you know, and I'm pretty sure if you don't have the active exhaust, this is what it sounds like. normal is pretty, you know, you can definitely roll around with normal if you want a little bit of volume, but you know, not overbearing. You don't want to wake people up. You don't want to be annoying. You just want a nice tone, a nice sound. The normal will definitely work for you. Next, we're gonna go to Sport Plus. This is a little bit louder. Track's just kind of wide open, all out. I mean, just really super loud in your face. Sport Plus is a nice medium between the two, kind of right where it should be. This is honestly what I like to drive around in. Normal is a little bit too quiet for me. Track can be a little too much if you're just kind of looking to cruise around. So here's some Sport Plus. So you can see a little bit louder, a little bit more there. It's not so in your face, but it does have a very nice sound to it. And it's honestly just kind of like perfect. You know, if you want to drive, you know, enthusiastically, then you can bump it up to track, you know, and it'll be no problem. But really just for like daily cruising, just for kind of, you know, everyday driving, I like to be in Sport Plus exhaust mode. This is where I like it the best. It sounds the best to me, and you know, I prefer this mode, to be honest. And last but not least, definitely the most fun, definitely the loudest, definitely the most in your face. We're gonna flip it over into track mode. Now I do drive in track mode quite a bit. You know, when I want to drive more aggressively, when I want to, you know, drive more spirited driving, then I will go into, you know, into track mode. It is, like I said, the loudest, the most aggressive sounding. It's just, you know, if you don't like super loud in your face all the time, it's not the best for that, but I'll go ahead and let y'all listen. So that's track mode. It is definitely louder. It's a little like deeper to me. The other ones sound more like crisp, clean exhaust sounds. This is more like a deep, like broad, loud sound to me. You know, everyone might hear it a little bit different, but I just hear it's more like just a bigger sound, I guess. And to be honest, I think Sport Plus sounds better, but it's not as loud, you know, and it won't be for everyone. You know, some people might want as loud as it can get all the time. But Sport Plus is definitely my favorite. I think it just sounds the best. Like I said, not as loud as track, but you know, that's kind of where I like to cruise it at.